In this video, I'm going to be showing you a complimentary dish that is going to be going with the rosemary bread in my previous video. And this is the ultimate macaroni and cheese. Now, macaroni and cheese is one of those things, it's a comfort food. You know, there's not too many people that dislike it. Problem is it's also one of the leading causes of, premature death in the United States. From all those clogged arteries, but you know something, you'll die with a smile on your face. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make homemade macaroni and cheese from scratch, the way that grandma did not make it, because she made that Kraft shit. Okay, but that's not bad actually, that stuff. But this, after you have real macaroni and cheese, you'll swear by it, and it's easy to make. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn our heat on, and I've got this to about medium, and I'm going to throw a stick of butter in here. Ultimately, we're going to be making a cheese gravy, because that's ultimately really what macaroni and cheese is. It's a pasta with a cheese gravy. So I'm going to throw that inside there. I'm also going to be pouring a little bit of olive oil inside here as well. Okay, that's going to end up being our fat. As soon as this starts melting and it gets a little, how should I put this, a little warmer, we're going to throw some other stuff. We're going to throw some flour in there. But before we do that, I'm going to throw some black pepper in this. I'll probably even put more black pepper inside there. I'm also going to put a touch of garlic powder. Once again, garlic powder. You can use straight up garlic if you want. You don't have to use powder. It's just that this is right next to me, and it's the most convenient. We're also going to be putting onion powder. Throwing a little salt inside here as well. I'm going to be adding probably more salt a little bit down the line. We're going to be using a whisk on this. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of bubbling going right here, which is what we're looking for. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some flour inside here. Okay, and this is going to end up helping this is going to help thicken it, because it's basically making like a roux, kind of like a gravy. I'm going to put a little bit more flour in this. I'm going to put a little bit more flour in this. And it's important that right now you cook the hell out of this. Well, actually, don't cook the hell out of it, because if it turns brown, it'll start tasting nutty. Right? But what you want to do is you do want to cook this so that way the doughy flavor disappears and you don't taste it. So you basically end up stirring this guy. Let me turn this down a little bit, because that's kind of hot. You basically end up cooking this guy for a few minutes, just long enough to get that doughy flavor out of it. So now that this has been cooking a little bit, that doughy flavor should be pretty much gone out of here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start adding half and half. Now you can add milk if you want to. You can even add cream if you want it real thick and cheesy. I'm using half and half because I'm going to go halfway on this. And when this starts getting back up to a boil or whatever, this is going to start thickening up just like a gravy. Okay, it's already starting to thicken up. Okay, you see that? So what we're going to do is we're going to add even more. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit more. And we're going to bring this up to temperature. And depending on what the consistency of this is what's going to determine whether I'm going to add more half and half or not. But during the time that this is coming up to temperature, I'm going to bust out the cheese. If you grate it, it'll speed the process of this up considerably on how fast it melts. If you put it in blocks and shit, it'll take a while. So I put about maybe a half a pound maybe of sharp cheddar in this. Oh, you see how thick this is getting? We need to add more. We need to add more of the half and half to it, because this is getting way too thick. I've got my salted water. I'm putting this on high heat, and now we're gonna put the second cheese or third cheese or whatever you want to put inside here. So next thing I'm going to put is what some people consider a big no-no, and that is powdered Parmesan. Okay, but I like it. I don't have a problem with it, even though I can't have this. But just a little bit to kind of give it a little bit of a different cheese flavor. There's no, I mean, you don't have to overdo it. This stuff has a tendency to kind of clump up and everything, but I'm going to put that inside there. And now I'm going to get the Monterey Jack, and I'm going to put the Monterey Jack in here. So all total, I've probably put a pound of cheese in this. Okay, all total. And let me kind of just keep stirring this up until that Monterey Jack melts. After it melts, I can go ahead and do a taste test to see if it has enough salt, if it has enough cheese, if there's something in it that just doesn't taste right, if it has enough pepper. But you can see it's basically like a cheese gravy. That's ultimately what we're making here. That's not bad, but I'm going to add a little bit more salt to this. A little bit more black pepper. I'm going to be putting basil inside here as well. If you want to give it a little bit of that old pizza thing, you put a little bit of oregano inside of it. And this is something else that I should probably bring up. When you buy a cheap cheese, a lot of times it doesn't have a strong cheese flavor, right? And you have to go for like super extra sharp cheese if you want it to like have that cheese flavor. So keep that in mind. And never, at least this is my philosophy or what I think, and that's never buy pre-shredded cheese. If you look on the rear of it, they put antibiotics in it to prevent mold and stuff, and also anti-caking agents. Screw that, just do it yourself. Generally, on something like this, I'll add chopped tomatoes on the top of it before I bake it. But I'm going to do something a little different because I'm going to have it infused, and I'm going to put a little tomato paste inside this sauce. Okay, we're going to stir it in, and yeah, it'll change the color. But at least we know it's stirred in there, right? But that will give it a little bit of that tomato flavor that I'm looking for as well. Okay, I actually overcooked this macaroni a little bit. Typically you only want to cook it about 90%. This went a little bit over because I was busy dealing with emails. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour basically the cheese gravy on this, and we're going to let that just kind of drip down to the bottom, which it will eventually. It thickened up a little bit during the time that I was online, but this will get to the bottom and it'll fill up all of those holes, and when it does, we'll put this in an oven at 325 until it basically starts boiling inside there. I'm going to kind of mix this up to kind of speed the process of getting this cheese down there so I can pour more inside because it thickened up a little bit. Okay, but Hakuna Matata, that means no worries. So let me wipe up the stuff that's on the outside here. I don't want that dripping in the oven or being on the outside. It's just going to be impossible for me to clean later. When I was younger, I had a job at Marie Callender's. I wasn't a cook. I had to wash the damn dishes. But I saw how a lot of these people, when they would bake things, they would send it to me and they'd be like, you got to clean this off. And it's like, how? You know, you guys put so much, you bake the hell out of it, and there's so much on the outside, it was just impossible to take off. So we got our black pepper. What I'm going to be using here is a little bit of smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika. Okay. For whatever reason, this is not wanting to come out. There we go. And as I've mentioned before, paprika is nothing more than just a bell pepper that's been dried and ground up. A little smoked paprika here. If you want to, you can put panko breadcrumbs on top. You could put another layer of cheese on top. Okay. This will give it a nice little smoky flavor because it's smoked paprika. Okay. If you want to put a little bit more basil on here, you can. What the hell? Let's put some basil on here. Okay. And generally, this is where I would put cut tomatoes on top. It's a really nice addition to this. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw this in the oven for on 325 for a while. And as soon as I see it kind of like bubbling from the sides, as soon as the top kind of gets a little dry, where you know that it's really absorbed a lot of the moisture and the cheese and the flavor, that's when I'm going to take it out and it'll be ready. So, wish me luck. Alright, time to take this out of the oven, and I gotta tell you, this smells really good. It smells really good. It boiled over a little. But that's okay. That is okay. But that, man, it smells so good inside here with those herbs and everything. And, oh, it almost smells like a pizza. It smells so fucking good, though. We'll probably have to do it from this side.
Oh, damn, dude, it's boiling over and everything.
Yeah. But let me, and then after this ends up cooling off, the cheese will harden a little bit.
Yeah.
And it'll absorb into the noodles. But yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, totally, I want that. It's probably boiling.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that.
It's good, bro. It's good.
Want some hot corn with that? Boiling corn.
The roof of my mouth and tongue are...
Well, yeah, it just came out of the oven, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, you gotta blow on it and stuff. Like one noodle at a time or some shit.
Yeah, but you won't get the real flavor if you do that.
Yeah, I know. But I only got like 4 minutes left on the camera and shit, so you're gonna have to kind of just like blow on it. Just don't burn the hell out of your mouth.
That tastes hella fucking bomb, like...
Other than the heat. Yeah. Yeah.
Other than the heat.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it.
You could probably put a little bit of maybe like bread in your mouth at the same time or something to kind of... Luna, get down. You can't have none of this, girlfriend. You hear me? You can't have none of that. That might help cool it off or something. So I mean, like, how would you describe the
The mac and cheese. The noodles is like, it's not, noodles aren't hard, they're all soft like they're supposed to. The cheese is like, cheese is really cheesy, but at the same time it's like, it's making me like try it. Okay, hold on. I can't even talk. It reminds me of some kind of sauce, like some type of cheese sauce that I've had before, but like this is a lot better. And I can taste the Parmesan, not as much, but I can still taste it. Taste a little bit of tomato, but it's not strong at all. Like
no, because I only put a little tomato paste in it. So like on a scale from 1 to 10, though.
Oh, it's a 10. This is a fucking 10. Like, I've been wanting you to make your stuffed shells, but I think I'd rather have you be making this.
Well, the stuffed shells are really good. But this, like right here, yeah. And then as it cools off and everything, and then that sauce thickens up, and it's just going to turn into like this big brick. You know.
I'm really happy you can't have any of this, just because, like...
Well, I'm happy you're going to get AIDS with your lifestyle. Anyway, guys, that's that. That's how I end up making one version of my macaroni and cheese. I have other versions of it, but this is one version. And this one is really, really good, and like pretty much everybody eats it, likes it. But anyway, until next time, I will talk to you later.